Everyone can think. But who is the man or woman who values the fact that they are human and values the fact that they can think, values that they're the rational animal? Very, very few. Very few ever think about it. They just do it. They just act blindly upon thinking. They never step back to say, I am the thinking animal. I am the head of the food chain. I have a deep responsibility. I want to polish this thing. So according to Ayn Rand's philosophy, you're not truly human until you have this psychoepistemology, the self-reflexive self-awareness that you are indeed a thinking being and you value the thinking. She says a new kind of thinking comes out of that. A new kind of thinking, one that is really truly human and really the sign of the individual. Ayn Rand makes that the center of her philosophy. You are not an individual in the Randian sense unless you are deeply grateful for being able to think and to be a thinker. And you can be absolutely sure that you've met hardly anyone who's ever done that exercise or whoever really works on that level. Take it for granted that the one who wants to walk the Siddhartha road is walking over a thorny ground. Right, so who is there to give a fuck about what you've suffered and gone through mentally and emotionally except yourself? Consider a sage merely looking at the state of the world. Isn't that enough woe for one lifetime? But where it's individualistic is because only you can know the pain and the wounds that you've gone through in their darkest hour. They're not communicatable in words. And more than likely it's going to know, you'll just, take a few, you'll go up a couple of steps on the ladder and then go, oh, I think I'm going to abandon this, right back into the herd you go. Hell, you're not even conscious of your thinking. He kind of agreed with Ayn Rand on this. You just do these things. But care is not love, because love still implies an external party with whom you have a empathic relationship. Is there not an empathic relationship with you yourself on your road as you go? Well, there must be. The only way that there couldn't be that is if you suffered no wounds, if you suffered no heartbreak, if you suffered no harangues on the road of life. And the ones with the psychoepistemology are the ones then, she says, now are qualified to go on and form a culture. Now they're qualified to breed and to bring up children the right way. Ethical, moral, intelligent, strong, positive. The philosophical idea that nature itself is in favor of individualism. It's what's known as telos, teleology, or entelechy. According to Aristotle and some philosophers, in the very seed of a thing, in the very heart of any grain or any seed is what it's going to become. But what it becomes is individualistic, as every tree, snowflake, leaf shows you. That even in a forest full of trees, even in a feather, it's characteristic. They're individualistic. Individualism is marked into nature, cannot be denied, even though you've got a phenomenon known as a forest of many trees. Now, Heidegger was criticized for not just using the word love, but he didn't want to use the word love. These critics know better. What are they trying to do? Well, there's spurious research everywhere. What he did, he chose his words very carefully because he wasn't talking about empathy necessarily toward others, which is love. Wasn't talking about that. He was talking actually quite closely to what Ayn Rand is talking about. Sorga is a state in which you are attentive to your own needs, to the being you are. His book was called Being in Time, right? So he says, yeah, there's the doer, and then there's the beer, the one who you have to be before you can do. How many people care about their beinghood? Well, very few, because nobody's in beinghood in the first place. If you don't have that little flask of this sacred bomb, right? Like Frodo gets the light of Elendil from Galadriel. Well, didn't he need it 5 minutes fucking later in the caves of Shelob? Didn't he need it as he climbed the dark way up to Mordor through the mountains? So Heidegger is saying that you ain't going nowhere without it.